Hello, Blake Winters, professional EOS implementer, and today I'm making good on my promise from last video of making more of these videos diving into the tools and disciplines because you all just won't stop asking for it. All right, so that may be kind of a stretch, but at least a couple of you did ask, so I'll hold on to that. So, of course, naturally, we're going to begin at the top of the model with the vision component. If you recall from last video, the vision component is all about where you're going and then how you plan to get there. So we crystallized the vision for the organization by answering 8 simple questions and then getting everyone on the same page with the answers to those 8 questions. And we keep those 8 questions on a 2-page document that we call the Vision Traction Organizer. And I've got these 8 questions listed here on the board, so today we're going to walk through them one at a time, beginning with question 1. What are your core values? So when I meet with a company, I always ask them if they're familiar with the term core values, and pretty much every single time they say yes and look at me like I'm dumb. So then I ask the next question, which is, well, does your organization have core values? And more often than not, they say yes. So then I take things one step further and I ask them, well, then what are your core values? And more often than not, these companies all have the same first core value, and that's so if leaders in the organization don't even know what their core values are and they have them just to have them, well, I think that's pretty pointless. So we don't do that. We work to define your core values that highlight the unique parts of your organization, these guiding characteristics that define our culture and what it is that we want from the culture of our organization. And then we don't just let them go die on a cute little poster. We use them every single day to make sure that we have the right people in the organization and that all of our actions and decisions are in line with those core values because we need to bring them to life. That's core values. The second question is core focus. And the core focus is the sweet spot of your organization. And now this thing's been called a million things in the history of business. You may have heard it called mission statement or vision statement, amongst other things, but we call it core focus because this comes from your core. It's where your purpose, cause, or your passion, the why behind your organization, intersects with your niche, what it is that you're world class at doing. And these two things together help us keep our eye on our ball and not get distracted by other opportunities that take us away from what we love to do and are best at as an organization. The third question is your core target. Now, previously this has been referred to as the 10-year target, but now we call it the core target because the time frame here is flexible. It's anything from 5 to 30 years out, and it's a clearly stated, simple, number one goal for the business that gets everyone on the same page with where this thing's going long term. After that, we move to question 4, which is the marketing strategy. And now the marketing strategy is designed to get everyone on the same page with who we should be talking to and then what we should be saying to get the biggest return on our investment in precious sales and marketing energies. Because marketing and sales energies are not infinite. As much as we'd love them to be, they're not. So we need to be really direct about where we're deploying those resources to get the biggest return. Now, there's 4 components to the marketing strategy, and the first is our target market, which is just getting us all to agree on that ideal prospect. And then the rest of your marketing strategy is your messaging to those ideal prospects, starting with your 3 uniques, which are 3 differentiating characteristics or 3 things that set you apart from your competition. We've got something called the proven process, which is a 1-page visual illustration of how you take care of your customers from that first meeting to the time that they're longtime satisfied business partners of yours. And then the guarantee, which we're all familiar with, is a pledge or a promise that reduces the fear of adoption. And we use that guarantee to eliminate objections that we may face in the sales and marketing process. So that's your marketing strategy. From there, we crystallize the vision for the organization and we start to bring it down to the ground and make it real with our 3-year picture. Now, what this is not is an overly complicated, detailed 3 to 5 year strategic planning process. I come from a consulting background, so I've been a part of those, and I can't tell you how many times I saw a 40-page document or a 100-slide deck with a lot of great information get looked at once before it went to go die on a hard drive somewhere because it never got used. Now, that's not to say there's not a time and place where that's appropriate, but for a lot of entrepreneurial organizations, that's just overkill, and they're never actually going to execute on that detailed of a plan. So we take a complete opposite approach to this and keep things super, super simple. We start by predicting what our revenue, profit, and measurables need to be in 3 years to feel as though we're on track to being able to achieve that core target that we set out. And then we describe what the organization looks like, answering the question, what does it look like, with descriptors, things that we need to have in place in order to feel confident that we'll meet our predictions that we have for 3 years and set us up to, again, be on track to achieving that core target. So from there, we leave the vision side of the VTO and we move to the traction side. And that's really where we bring that vision down to the ground and prioritize and plan, starting with our 1-year plan. Again, we make predictions, revenue, profit, and measurables. What do we need to achieve this year to be on track to achieving that 3-year picture, to then be on track to achieving that core target? After that, we align on 3 to 7 company priorities, which we call goals for the year. We're only going to focus on 3 to 7 goals, not 27 goals, because if we say there's 27 things important, nothing's important. So one of the phrases that we use a ton when implementing EOS is less is more. Keep things simple. 3 to 7 priorities only. After that, we can move to the next question on the VTO, which we call rocks. And rocks are 90-day business priorities that get everyone on the same page with what's most important over the next 90 days, creating what we call a 90-day world. So again, just like for the 3-year and the 1-year, we make predictions, revenue, profit, and measurables. And then we agree on 3 to 7 company priorities, we call those rocks, and 3 to 7 individual priorities. And the result of this is going to be discipline, focus, and accountability to ensure that we're executing on that vision every single 90 days. We're not waiting till month 11 to start achieving our goals, achieving our vision. We're doing things every single 90 days. After that, we move to the last question on the VTO, which is simply, what are your issues? We compile an issues list. If you remember from last video, I said when the vision, people, and data components are strong, that this organization is going to become transparent, and you already have issues, and you are going to continue having issues. But the worst place for an issue to live is up here, up in your head where it just festers and you don't tell anyone. So we don't do that. We get all of our issues out of our head and onto the issues list. And once we've done that, we've answered that 8th question. So now that we've answered all 8 questions and we're on the same page as a leadership team, we need to get this shared by all. We need to get this vision shared by everyone that's a part of the organization. In order to accomplish that objective, you have to tell them. You have to get all of your people in a room quarterly, share with them this vision and plan, get them to see the vision, understand the plan, and say, you know what? I want to be a part of it. And once you do that, you get everyone on the same page with the vision. They're all rowing in one direction. That's really when the magic starts to happen. And that's the vision component, and that's 100% strong. Now, if you're interested in learning more about how we craft the vision for the organization and the exercises we go through to really bring this to life as a leadership team, contact me and I'd be happy to help. Thank you.